How y'all doing? Y'all all right? Thank you for tuning in to Unhinged Live. I'm your host, Tilted Halo, and I'm sitting alongside my good girlfriend, Karen Sims of Twisted Threads LLC. And I know what y'all doing. Y'all looking like I see a third person there on the screen. Well, that is our guest for tonight. We have
Opening
been
it right
moving a
up.
little swiftly on today. And yeah, we forgot to just, seat her pleasantly into the studio green room. So welcome to the show tonight, Nicole. We're going to be speaking with Nicole in just a moment. But first and foremost, I want to go ahead and give y'all the rundown for tonight's show. Of course, y'all going to talk to Miss Carson, and she's going to help you get your money right because you already know what it is here at Unhinged. We are trying to be lifetime fine all day, every day. We're going to share some views from the petty pew, go merrily down the stream, and of course, we're going to have that roundtable discussion in what's really going on. And hey, we should start putting this segment at the beginning of the show. Well, I'll talk to you about this later, Karen. We're going to enjoy yet another reflection of purpose from our in-house master life coach, Karen Sims. So let's get to it. Karen, how you doing, girlfriend?
You know what? I'm out here catching flights, taking care of family business, literally. And with the song, I'm just out here trusting God. That's what I'm doing. And just hopped the flight. I got some views from the petty pew about these airports and these people traveling.
Yes.
But that's all I'm gonna say on that. Because, sir, ma'am, if you got a cough, do something about that, or mask up. Okay, it's too early. We just getting started, But I nicely had to pull out all of my masks. I think I double masked. It might have made the person next to me nervous, but you know who did not care? Not
that
me.
Girl.
Not me. Your feelings gonna get hurt today because what you not gonna do is I stayed in good health the whole trip. We had to go see about a Raymond update, and our boy is doing well and coming along. So you got to, as a mom, we got to put our eyes on some things. But we're gonna talk about some different phases of motherhood while we're on here today too, because I know
yes,
as we welcome Nicole, and business owner, entrepreneur, mom, wife, all of those titles. And we never say, the interesting word of balance, but how do we harmonize those type of things? But that's what's going on in my world, and so Tilted, how are you doing?
girl, I'm out here trying to avoid tornadoes and lightning strikes. Girl, before you hopped on, it sounded like as lightning had struck a house behind me. So Nicole was with me as I ran down the stairs to go check and see if I needed to be evacuated or not. Mother Nature is doing her dizzle and showing up and showing out and letting us know that we need to do right by her. Outside of that, I'm just out here trying to contain all this powerful blackness because I'm still reeling off of the events of Juneteenth. Yeah, and still out here in these streets, sharing the information because, again, I cram to understand why so many people think that Juneteenth is a brand new holiday. And then they're shocked when I'm looking at them, telling them, baby, I've been celebrating Juneteenth since I was 10 years old. But maybe it's because I grew up in the wonderful state of California, where I was exposed to different levels of culture. Because, of course, California is a huge cultural melting pot. So, it's all good. I'm rocking the space buns, trying to stretch these curls, trying to decide what my next hairstyle is going to be. But other than that, I'm doing pretty well. I was presented the opportunity to become a mentor with Fox Chase Cancer Center since I've been transitioning very well after my procedure. And I'm excited about the opportunity to share my story with yet another woman who might need the information that I have and hold their hand, along the way. Because you already know we're created to serve and we're servants of humanity. So before we keep moving along, I want to go ahead and shout out my super fan of the week. Thank you for your patience with us, Nicole. I appreciate you, sweetie. Let's get a drum roll going. All right, that's my little ghetto drum roll. So yes, tonight super fan shout out goes to my sister from another mister. Her name is Melissa de la Cruz. Now, Melissa and I became acquainted when she first started working where I'm currently employed, and she has held my hand through my own cancer journey by sharing hers with me. She kept me encouraged. She keeps me encouraged. And, she actually let me know that she appreciated that I walked through this with such positivity, that she knew I was going to be all right. Melissa is Filipino, and Caucasian. Interesting fact about Melissa. She's the mother of three. Shout out to my baby girl, Alex, the dancer. I've been a fan of Alex and her dance skills since she was very, very young. But Melissa is a true survivor, and I get a chance to sit with her every day and listen to her laugh like she doesn't have a care in the world. I get to sit with her every day and see how she loves her friends and loves her family. So I just wanted to go ahead and acknowledge one of my favorite pink sisters. Girl, I love you. And if you're tuning in, I'll see you in the morning. All right. So let's get to it. Karen, you want to
Yes.
go ahead and introduce our guest officially on this evening?
Listen, we gonna officially, y'all know we got a whole studio, green room, hallway, and folks come and knock on the neighborhood door, but we're excited to welcome fully this evening Mrs. Nicole Carson, who is the owner of Second Story Wealth. And we're gonna get into that. But Nicole, we want to give you a warm welcome because we've been seeing what you've been doing, sharing it with our tribe. So for those of you who are like, who is that? Y'all ain't been paying attention. Really, that's what it say, because we like to share good information with our people. And Nicole, you've been dropping nuggets for a little while now, and we've been sharing it with our team. But we are super excited tonight to welcome you to have a deeper conversation and to get these nuggets, because we talk about us being lifetime fine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, honey, you can't do that if your money ain't right. You cannot do that if the finances is jacked up. So we need to talk to you for all of the things that we're able to do. And so we love it because you are a certified financial planner. But I'll let you tell more about you as you give your formal introduction to our Tilted Tribe family, Nicole.
Great. Well, thank you so much, both of you, for having me. Thank you for extending the invitation. I am thrilled to be here. For everyone out there, my name is Nicole Carson. As Karen mentioned, I am the owner and financial planner at Second Story Wealth. And I've been in financial services for 20 plus years. That's all I'm going to say about that. We don't need to tell you how long. Let gray hair speak for
itself. She know what she doing.
Let gray hair speak for itself. But, I've had a variety of different roles over that time frame, from financial services, financial planner, as well as a leader and a manager of financial services. And so I've been in corporate America for a good 20 plus years. And I think for many of us, right, when COVID hit, it really gave us an opportunity to reflect on, what do I value? What are the things that matter? What are the things that are important to me? And for me, that was spending more time with my family, right? So, for many of you out there that are listening that are in that corporate life, I know you ain't doing 40 hours. It's way more than 40 hours, not to mention the commute time if you're not working from home. And so, especially as a leader, and especially in this type of business, it was the 50, 60 hour mark, right? And so I found myself working so hard to support my family, but never really getting to spend that quality time with my family. And then I also wanted to make sure that I had an opportunity to choose the clients that I wanted to serve, which is, clients that look like us, right? That, our community is not represented in financial services, like full stop, right? Financial services over the years has largely been taught, in schools, depending on your zip code. It is marketed to those that are generally of the wealthier community. And I wanted to make sure that I could leverage the gifts that God has given me to serve our community in a meaningful way. And so that is why I decided to leave corporate and start my own firm, Second Story Worth, serving specifically our community.
Love
That's what's
that
up.
fully.
That's what's up.
So now, as you started talking about kind of the pivot and how you were looking at things differently, can you talk to us a little bit about what inspired you to start this business? I know you talked a little bit about the, need for more representation and being able to work with the clients you want to versus the ones who giving headaches.
Yes.
With less ROI.
Yes.
But can you talk a little bit about what about financial planning has kind of sparked a passion for you to say, and this is where I want to show up for my community?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'll just share my own story. I grew up in a place of we ain't got McDonald's money, right? And so, I'm like, well, why not? Right? I think many of us either come from a place of lack or we are adjacent to a place of lack, right? And so, for me, that meant trying to find a solution as to how can I support my family and what does that mean? I'm the oldest of 7. So we had a big family that we needed to support. And so trying to figure out, well, how can I really, add value to my family? And so that's why I went to school initially to, learn about finance. That's why I started, doing financial planning very early in my career. But what I have found, right, as I mentioned at the top, is financial services and financial literacy is not taught in our schools and in our communities, right? Depending on your zip code, depends on whether or not you learned about balancing a checkbook, what is a stock, what is a bond, contracts, etc., credit score. And, of course, we want to have these conversations at home, but the conversations that at least I was hearing was, how are we going to pay the bills, right? As opposed to how do we create and establish wealth beyond this immediate moment, right? And so that is really what is kind of catapulting me into making sure that we can break down some of these barriers, not only from an education perspective, but also being able just to have financial planning that's available to all of us. Because again, it's, one of the common things that I hear from my clients is I may have considered going to a financial planner, but I didn't find one that, I felt comfortable having that level of dialogue where they understand my specific needs. Our community is different. The things that we need in our community is different. Just like you would want to maybe go to a Black doctor, or you maybe want to go to a person of color, for a therapist that's going to be able to show up in your life in a meaningful way because they understand kind of where you're coming from, that language. Financial planning is very similar from that perspective. And right now, we simply just don't have enough of us out there to do this level of work. So if I have been blessed enough to be able to do it, I want to make sure that I can extend that.
Love that. And, it's one of those things that, and I think for many of us, so I'll mention this, I got introduced to the thought of a financial planner through my mom, who was a friend of a friend of a friend. And it was somebody who didn't look like us, said, this is what we do. And it's like, well, what you mean? What do you say? What now?
Right.
What am I supposed to do with this information? And so being able to glean from people who were in the industry, and all of what you said, I definitely have experienced personally, down to we ain't got no McDonald's money. But trying to turn that around for our families to figure out, okay, we don't need McDonald's money because we about to go and get the whole franchise and get our own McDonald's, and how do we set up for that? So I know that we've got listeners of all sort of age brackets, and I'm wondering if you could share with us some of the services that you provide so that folks know kind of why do they need to either get in contact with you or someone else to kind of set those financial planning goals for their life. Whether I think we probably start, I'm going to say we got 30s, we got 40s, we got 50, and everybody else, we queen agers and fine. So
I love that. Well, I think for many of us, I think one is just, what is a financial planner, right? And what do we do? You know, my job is really to think about what your individual goals are, and from a financial perspective, right? But also bake in, what are your core values, and how do we mean to create a plan to be able to not only make sure that you have enough money to sustain that, right? But also make sure that we can, make sure that you have enough money to last for all of your goals. So for us in our community, I'll give you a really quick example. Many of us are first generation, right? Either we are the first one to go to college, we are the first one to maybe earn maybe a little bit more money than our parents or our grandparents, right? Maybe the first one to own a home. And that comes with a different level of responsibility, right? What do I do with that, right? Now I have more questions. As your life gets more complicated, I have more questions about my money and my finances. And I think for many of us, it's like, well, when do I go to a financial planner, and what does that look like? Well, for a lot of us, you have a 401k, or you probably have some money in your workplace retirement, but you'd also think about going to a financial planner maybe when you had a life event, right? Or, right, if it's just, hey, I might have some risk in some concerns in my life, where that might mean that, I might not have enough life insurance. Or for me, right, I had aging parents and I had young children. How do I set up my finances to make sure I can support all of those things? One thing that's very often in our community as well is, we might be supporting other people. That is very common for many of us, that how do I manage my own household when I also have to make sure that I'm taking care of mom and dad, or wherever, maybe in another country, or whatever that might mean. We all have different goals. And the purpose of a financial plan is to make sure that your individual goals are not only met, but they're all working in tandem. We want to make sure that we're creating as much wealth as possible. So one of the things that I'm looking for as a financial planner is, how can I earn you and help you to attain as much wealth, reduce the amount of risk that you might have, right? And reduce the amount of taxes that you pay to the IRS. Those are the top things that I'm looking for. And I know, right? In everyone's portfolio, we all want to make sure that we're putting our assets in the right places, right? And do I have my money lined up where it's supposed to go? Do I have enough insurance, maybe a life insurance policy, so I'm not leaving my family in a really tough spot should something happen to me? Maybe it's, my parents might be getting older, and I might have to have a conversation about what elder care might be thinking or looking about. And then, right, when you think about all of that, for the more money you make, the more taxes that you have, right? And so how can I invest these dollars so I'm not creating a taxable situation for myself? Or are there opportunities out there that I can invest in some things that aren't creating, a taxable loss, right? Where I'm making a mistake, right? I know I've heard that a lot of times, where I might have invested in an individual stock and that maybe wasn't a great idea, and I lost some money along the way, but then I also had to wind up paying taxes. So my job is to look at your holistic picture. What are your goals? What are your values? And build a customized plan that meets specifically aligned for that.
Love that. Love that. All of the things, my brain is going 50 miles a minute to like, oh, and what about this? And what about
yeah, because, thank you so much, Nicole, for sharing the information you shared to this point, because I promise you, in the midst of what you just shared, you touched on the thought in my mind. You spoke about life insurance, and a number of the folks in our community don't realize that they can actually use life insurance as a means to start some generational wealth in this lifetime. Can you explain to our listeners the different types of life insurance policies they could have access to?
Yeah, absolutely. Managing risk is one of the hugest ways that, you can make sure that we're not only adding wealth, but reducing, as we talked about before. You don't want to work all of these years, right? And work 20, 30 years in a profession and then have loss, right? Because maybe I had a disability. I myself actually, I had panic attacks and I had to take some time off of work. I took 6 months off of work. Now, fortunately for me, right, my company had a policy in place that I was able to still get paid. But for many people, that is not the case, right? And if you have loss of income, right, what does that do to your immediate situation? Not only what you're trying to do in terms of your longer term goals, whether that's retirement or college savings or whatever that might mean, right? And you're more likely to actually experience a loss of income at some point in your life than you are. Obviously, we're all going to pass, but that's going to happen more frequently than people, I think, really realize, right? And so we want to be prepared for that. And so life insurance is a couple things. You can usually, we talk about term life, and what term life is a life insurance policy that you purchase for a specific amount of time, a specific dollar amount, and you pay premiums either every month or year, however you want to set it up. And so when you pass, right, all of the debt that you may have, if you still have a mortgage or student loans, or simply that I just want to make sure that my children are well taken care of. I want to make sure my family is well taken care of. I want to make sure that, I have a church or a school that I really am passionate about, that I want to make sure that I donate to, right? All of those assets are left to those people that you leave as your beneficiaries. One of the challenging things that happens is that you have an unexpected death, or you have an unexpected illness that you weren't prepared for, and it causes financial strain in the family. And those are the things that you can do to actually use insurance, whether that's life insurance or disability, to supplement all of those issues. The other thing that I think you talked about kind of the type of life insurance is whole life. Whole life is one of those where you're actually purchasing life insurance for your entire life. So as we talked about term, where it's very specific amount of money for a specific term over a specific time period. Whole life is the opposite, right? So say you bought $1 million policy, you're paying.
Is that me?
No, that's actually the weather in our area. So for those of you who are tuning in, you already know I said it at the top of the show. I'm out here trying to dodge lightning strikes and thunder and all the monsoon-like rain. And Nicole is actually in the area, and I did kind of warn her that the storm was moving her way. So I want to go ahead and take this opportunity to thank you all for tuning in. We really appreciate you on tonight. And I want to go ahead and say thank you in advance to our replay viewers. Listen, get close. Nicole is sharing some excellent information on tonight. All right. So those of you who are in the room, if you think it not robbery, go ahead. Share this information, share this conversation. And while you're sharing it, take a moment to head on over to the YouTube Nation, hit like, hit follow, subscribe, hit the notification bell on Twisted Threads YouTube channel, Unhinged Live YouTube channel, and of course, Save the Arts TV YouTube channel. We are out here, honey. And again, we're trying to continue to get lifetime fine. So I know you, with your brilliant self, Nicole, I know you were able to put a pin in the conversation where technical difficulties try to come in and interfere. So go ahead, sis, take the mic.
It's all good. It's all good. Was there anything else just from an insurance perspective that you wanted to lean into? So I know that we've so
No,
much to cover, so I just want to make sure before.
no, I think you gave a lot of great information when it comes to life insurance. And a lot of this conversation on tonight is being prepared
Yeah,
for the unexpected. Can
absolutely.
you give us any information on any trust that our listeners can put in place right now? Because with the work that I'm currently doing, I understand that there are a few different types.
Yeah. Yeah, there are several things that everyone that's listening to this and the sound of her voice can do today that cost no money, but is an excellent wealth strategy. One of the things that I always recommend to all of my clients is to make sure in. So if you have a 401k, you have a retirement plan, you have a life insurance policy, so many times those things are just being set up and you don't really realize they're being set up, right? They might be automatic through your employer. And so you have dollars out there or you have a policy out there and you don't have a beneficiary. A beneficiary is somebody that is designated to receive the assets once you pass. So if you have a retirement plan or you have a life insurance policy and you pass away and you don't have a beneficiary listed, those assets go to the state. And now, again, back to that taxes conversation we were having, if we don't have it listed there, not only does it go into probate, but it actually is going to cost your loved ones more money and much faster to get to those dollars. So we always want to make sure that we're checking our beneficiaries on any retirement accounts or insurance policies that we have. The other thing that you want to make sure that you can do that I know a lot of people don't necessarily know that you can do is if you're an individual owner on any of your bank accounts that you may have. So if you have a checking account or usually a savings account, you can actually list something called a payable on death. And that works exactly the same way as a beneficiary. So if you have a savings account at wherever institution, whatever bank, credit union, etc., again, and you pass, and there's no instruction as to where that money can go, you want all of that money is going to go to your what's called an estate and then get taxed at the probate level. And then it's going to take longer for those people, usually your family members, to get access to those dollars, right? Where a payable on death is something where, just like a beneficiary, you would name whomever that might be, and those assets would immediately shift to whoever you want. They don't have access to your savings or checking account right now. I just want to make sure that that's clear. These folks do not have access to your money right now. It is simply something that you would add if something should happen when you pass. These assets get transferred immediately. And then transfer on death is something very similar. If you have a brokerage account, or if you have stocks, or you have bonds, that's also something that you want to list. Somebody that you want to have those assets being passed to, because those are the things, again, that you've worked incredibly hard for. And the last thing we want to do is slow the process in getting your assets to your loved ones when you pass and having them pay more taxes than they need to. So that's something that every single person can do today that costs absolutely no money. And most of the time you can do this right online. It'll take you less than 10 minutes.
That's some
Great
good nuggets
stuff.
for us to get right into. And unfortunately, many of us have experienced loss, and we know the headache personally on how do we get all these things together? What's who is the next of kin, knowing? And I think one of the important things, Nicole, is that every state sometimes has different rules around each of the things. So for wherever you are, like we said, it's 10 minutes online. It's a free thing. Educating yourself to make sure that you are safeguard and listen. We did not work this hard to see it go bye-bye, okay? We are trying to hold on to it. And so we appreciate, those nuggets that you have shared with us because they're timely. This was the reason why we said we needed to get you at the table for the discussion, because many of us are talking about different things. If you are, under 50, whatever the prime age is, I know I just went through this adding life insurance. Don't tell the children. Don't tell the children.
But they don't know now if they listen to the show. If they
listen, I had to put some extras in there. So some of the grandkids or beneficiaries, should somebody go for, ain't none of the money gonna get lost. That's what we gonna say. None of this money gonna get lost. But understanding, as you mentioned, Nicole, the difference between term life and whole life and what your plans are. Because I think one of the things is many of us don't have a plan for our money. Like we've never had the, and I'm going to say it this way, we've never had the luxury to say, I'm going to plan for what I want my money to do for me. And so that whole, whether it's robbing Peter to pay Paul or really us only having enough to pay the bills. But this is a different mindset, growth mindset, when we're thinking about, okay, now you're telling me financial literacy. I get to make a plan for my money. I get to set goals for whether it is something frivolous or something that's going to, send more money to create a larger amount of wealth. But it's just an interesting conversation that, you allow in my head and tilt it. I want to, kind of get your take on what you've heard so far as well, because I know we've heard from a couple of our listeners, but is this hitting home for you as well?
Oh, it's hitting home for me. Again, I did mention that my last question was relative to the work that I'm currently doing. And, they listen, when you hear the term, you can't take it with you. Listen, if you don't have yourself papered up right, you sure enough can't take it with you, and your babies can't get it either. So I appreciate everything that you're sharing on tonight. For me personally, I know, again, we're familiar with the testimony of robbing Peter to pay Paul. And again, you also did mention, Nicole, that a lot of us weren't exposed to this information coming up. And again, thank you so much for establishing your company to make sure that we get the information that we need the way we need it delivered. And check it out. One thing I'm learning through my life, my professional journey, is that it's not only the Black and brown communities that don't have this information. There's a lot of folks who just don't know. They just don't know. And I take great pleasure in being able to host these types of conversations here on Unhinged Live, because again, as Karen mentioned, we have a broad audience. And this is very important information for our younger viewers and listeners. So I'm going to take a moment. Y'all know I like to break beyond the fourth wall of the camera. Listen, y'all. Miss Nicole and gave y'all some good information on tonight. If you didn't take notes on tonight, I should have gave y'all that as a disclaimer. If you weren't taking notes, go ahead and hit rewind, because this video going to be on the YouTube channels. This video is going to be right here. And it's my heart to see the young people prosper. So I want to see you all do well and prosper. Many of you are graduating high school. Many of you are graduating college. You are never too young to start getting your financial life together, because we three queenagers here at the platform tonight have the awesome privilege of being able to say, hey, we were the first. We were the first. So now we carry the responsibility to turn around and give our children, who can eventually give their children's children, the information that we've gleaned, so that there can be generational wealth with the knowledge we glean on tonight. So thank you so much for all the information you shared, Nicole. Can you tell our listeners how they can connect with you, whether it be social media or your website.
Are you there?
Yes, we are here.
Yes, we're here.
Okay. I lost you there for a second. I think that storm's coming my way. You
Yes, it
said, what would
is.
you like me to share? I'm happy to share.
Yes. How can our listeners get in contact with you?
Yeah, so I am at secondstorywealth.com. I am on all the socials at Second Story Wealth. And you can also contact me via phone, kind of old school for those of us that like still talking on the phone at 215-714-7144.
No problem. And Karen, you already know how I like to flip script. It may sound like we done with Nicole, but we're really not.
Oh,
Oh,
Um,
I was like,
I already know.
but we're really not. We're really not.
yeah,
Karen and I typically tend to exist on the same frequencies, just in different demographic locations.
yeah, yeah,
And when
yeah.
she hopped on tonight, I'm certain you heard it, Nicole. She started talking about the phases of motherhood. And I want to
Mhm.
take this time to publicly congratulate you. You're about
Oh,
to inherit
yeah.
a son in love. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. Yes. I love. So my daughter Caressa is getting married this Sunday. I know you two ladies have known me for a very long time and have known Caressa for a very long time. So it's amazing to see her get to this point where she's been so blessed to find somebody that she can do life with. And I'm inheriting a son in love as well, which all comes in financial planning too, because they need some work too. They on a different
And this,
level. We're talking about budgeting and making sure that they understand their household and how are they going to set that up. And so we're still doing financial planning, but we're on the budgeting tip with our young
Love
folks.
it. Love
But
it.
yes.
Love it. Love it.
now, so check it out, Karen. You were unaware of this, right?
Am
So
I?
I was we were having a conversation about the difference in raising boys and girls. And I
Yeah.
was sharing with Nicole that girls leave and boys typically tend to stick around. Uh, now, Nicole, you had some interesting insight from your experience. Do you mind sharing some of that? And then we're gonna get your perspective on that too, Karen.
Yeah. So I was sharing pre-show. So I have a son, 23, who is currently in Spain. And then my daughter, Caressa, who's getting married. And I was sharing with her that, maybe because I'm a planner, I don't know, but Caressa has always been very much a planner. Like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to college and, I'm trying to encourage her to find something she's passionate about, that she, because you ain't going to waste my good earned money that I've been planning for. Okay. Um, and, making sure that she's kind of got a plan that she wants to do. While Chris, on the other hand, who is our 23-year-old, he's just kind of like, I changed my major a couple times, and not that there's anything wrong with that, right? And he's currently in Spain right now, figuring out we'll call it next steps. And I think it's not that there's any one particular way that's right or wrong. They're just so different, right? Where Caressa has always been like, I'm moving, I'm kind of moving out of Pennsylvania, I'm not coming back. Where Chris has always been like, well, there's kind of an open door, like he's coming back next week after the wedding. So he'll be back. So I agree with you that boys usually come back and girls are a little bit more planned out.
Yeah, we out, right? So,
Yeah.
Karen, I see you. You got your motherboard rock going on this one.
I'm like, where my fan at? Because listen, mine don't do nothing the right way never. So no. Okay. My boys were the ones to leave and were like, listen, I have a so let me give the disclaimer. I don't say that I raised a daughter. I say I raised a Danielle. Slightly different than all of you who have daughters. I have 4 boys and a Danielle. God bless. In that realm, though, I think that there were certain times, and I experienced it as well growing up. It was like, okay, I'm coming, if something go wrong, mom coming back. And that's how my daughter was. Mom coming back, mom coming back, mom coming back. Then it was like, okay, we're gonna have this conversation. I can't tell you exactly what I said, but the Holy Ghost version of it was, thou shalt not cross this domicile again unless the hell it be your doggone last resort. That means all your brothers is dead and broke. Ain't nobody else here to help. And then we can figure something out. Now, here's a challenging thing, because I got a little bit of time to spend some time with some of the boys this weekend. And Joshua's take on this is, and I've told all my children this, do not make me your first call, make me your last resort, because everybody's children not like mine. They don't try because they know I will. Got kids in that model. I know you understand. They do not try because they like, listen, mommy gonna come fix it, and I ain't even got to think about it. I need to see receipts. I want to see a business plan. Did you try to have a resolution for this? So Joshua's take on it is, mommy got an extra room, and if I need to come, I'm coming. And I said, this why my next address, you may or may not know, because I'll play them games. Okay, they want to drop kids off and do. I'm not here for all that, but I do agree that it is a difference in the gentlemen and the ladies and the gents. I don't know, but I feel like it's I don't know where to put it, because sometimes I feel like it's like, who do they take after more? So my daughter was very, and this is how it's gonna be, and everybody gonna deal with it. Like it wasn't a, can I come, where the rest of the boys would be like, listen, ... Nobody actually took. So now, Nicole, this is what that is. It's called the gap year.
That's why we teach it in Spain.
But but in our countercultures, yes, they legitimately this is a thing. I've heard other, I've got one of our, and I'm a shout it out. Well, I ain't gonna say nobody's name, but somebody, they just graduated, they got their masters. This is like, well, what's next, child? Because we want to celebrate. Well, I'm gonna take a gap year and then ... So it's a thing now. Like I wasn't surprised when I heard it, probably because who it was coming from. But this is where where the motherboard really does come in tilted, because we got to pray for our children and be like, Lord, I'm not really sure, because my niece is that way. Like I'm probably not the best version of the auntie that I could be for her, because she don't really have a direction for where. And I'm like, well, what you mean? I'm just gonna, that. Well, I'm just gonna. What? Like, I can't do nothing with that. I'm twisting rid of her all day long. So I'm like, what you mean? I'm just. Kim, come get your child. I don't know. So because I'm so goal oriented, that's probably one of my biggest challenges with my children. Of, if you got a plan, listen, we working it out. You ain't got no plan. I'm like, dear Jesus, in your face, because I'm not praying behind your back. My kids, dear Lord,
that's right. We laying hands, and you're gonna hear us pray. I do not
know what direction you taking this child in. Listen, this is a real prayer, so raise your hand if you feel the sha-na-na.
I don't know the direction.
I don't know the direction that you taking my child right now, but I trust you as a promise keeper like never before. Even if I don't see it, send the way, send the door, Lord. Let them walk through. Listen, I'm an old school praying mama when it comes. I'm new school, everything else, but when it comes to the prayer, I'm coming right at it. Like, Lord, I do not know what this child that you sent me. You know, I got to put that part in there. You sent them over here.
Yes.
And I don't know what they doing right now. So we just gonna lift up holy hands and let you do what you gonna do.
We surrender all, Jesus.
Listen, you know, it's funny because we can surrender all for the children. We can surrender all for the children, even if it ain't for ourselves. We will surrender for on their behalf. But that's a whole other story. So that's all I know. I don't know no other way. I don't know.
Listen, yeah, we surrender all because for me personally, I surrender all because I have practiced not being a hover mom forever. I have two daughters, and this is how I know personally that these chicks leave and they don't, well, at least mine, have left the nest and have shown absolutely zero interest in coming back except for the occasional visit. And guess what? I'm okay with that. Because while they were in the nest, I had the opportunity to give them the tools they needed to be successful. And they out there doing their own thing. My oldest daughter is a business owner, entrepreneur, as well as a musical artist herself. And, you know, Linnea is starting out her life in the insurance industry. So, you know, I gave them the tools. They out there successful. And this is, listen, I'm mentioning being a hover mom. This is for somebody in the audience. Deliverance is here for you today. All right. Deliverance is here for you today. Because as Karen said ever so eloquently, she challenged these children to have a plan. So you hover parents, challenge your children to have a plan. That's what I did with my babies. And I allowed them to follow their plan. I never expected them to be miniature versions of me. I told them constantly that I'm not raising lemmings up in here. I want you to embrace your individuality in whatever it is you choose to do. Baby girl, the oldest one, of course, she started her business working in her passion. She's now a seamstress. She likes to sew. She likes fashion and style. And part of that might be because she's 6 foot tall, and it was very, very hard for me to find jeans for her that wasn't high waters, looking like she was just walking through floods every single day. So she wasn't able to wear a lot of the designer clothes that were out there. I couldn't even get my baby a pair of Gucci. I'm sorry, because again, they were high waters. So she has the gift to create. So now she's making styles for herself and others. So again, y'all hover parents, let them babies be. You pour. And those of you who are walking this walk of faith, pour, take your hands off and trust God. Because remember, they're only on loan to you. All right? They're only on loan to you. So do what you need to do in the time that they're in the house so that they can walk out the journey that they're predestined to walk out. How about that? Anybody want to add anything else to the conversation?
No, ma'am.
No, we good.
Sum that right on up. That was great.
Huh? Yeah, I'm saying, listen, like Karen, much like Karen, I'm a straight prayer warrior. Anybody who's ever sat in the building when I done started praying, I ain't playing with the enemy. Okay. When it comes to my children, I've also been referred to as a spiritual sniper. All right. And that's, yes, I will straight snipe you in the spirit. And I shared somewhere in the group, in the comments, where my children knew my gifting. And they were wise enough to know not to bring a certain kind of people into my presence. And when they thought it was okay to bring somebody, they always issued that disclaimer. Baby, let me tell you something. My mama fins to read you. All right? My mama is fins to read you. So be on your best behavior pretty much. Yeah. And I promise you, you know, sometimes they listen, Sometimes they didn't when it came to associating with the person that I just read. But ultimately, teaching them consequence, I believe, helped them to be successful women today. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, Linnea. Mommy, love you. All right.
And shout out, because I know, Nicole, you're also on the other side of this with
Yes.
a young princess who is into, starting on the other side of the spectrum. So you marrying one off, welcoming the son for his gap time, and got is it first recitals for your baby girl?
Well, this is her second year.
Awesome.
Okay. So I was like real in love when and we had our Kennedy.
Yeah.
I was real in love, John.
Those of us of a mature age, we understand that. Real in love.
So Kennedy is 5, and she's going 5.5. She's reminding me every day, and she just had her second recital. And she was, front row center. She is not scared. She is not afraid. She loves to dance. I'm just grateful that she's found a couple things that she loves to do. She out there. So yeah, I got a very busy house over here, honey.
Yes.
The many hats that we wear.
Yes.
Can I ask you? Can I ask you about your success in getting that red mark off that baby face?
Oh.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know,
so we gotta give a little bit of the backstory. Okay,
yeah, we gotta give a little bit of the backstory.
We are social media friends, so we're gonna set the stage for Nicole to explain the wonder and awesome creativity. I was rooting for her. Not that I was going against you, Nicole, but like this level of creativity is like, what do we do with that? Because this is. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. You can go ahead.
All right, I got a princess, and you see, I got a little red lip, right? Which is very, I just, I keep a little red lip, here, there, and everywhere. So she's used to seeing a little red lip. So I don't remember what day it was, but she was supposed to go to. She's still in pre-K, and I had a full day of client meetings. So I was in there in my room trying to get myself together. And the next thing I know, she comes into the bathroom and she's got red makeup all down her face. What she thought was makeup, but really it was like marker and some other, I don't know what she had in there. She thought she was putting herself together as mommy was putting herself together. And we were literally 8:00 time to go is what I normally tell her. And this was like 7:59. I was like, oh no. I said, what do you have on your face, baby? And I'm like trying to scrub it off because at the time I didn't know what it was. I thought maybe she had grabbed one of my, lip glosses or something, put it on her face. I thought maybe, she had gotten to my makeup bag or something. She took a good old marker and decided that she was going to color her face and put a little on both sides. So I'm in there in the bathroom. I'm trying to scrub her. I'm calling my husband, like, come scrub this baby. We gotta go. And nothing is coming off. So, I went to the Googles, and the Google was telling me all kinds of things. And I was like, I don't trust Google. Let me get to the mamas that I know.
The black mamas. That's right.
The mamas that have been through this, and y'all set me straight, got me together. And now my baby, it took a couple tries, but we got her all washed up, and now she's back.
She was really in love.
Yeah, she came in the bathroom. She said, I'm ready too. I'm like,
that probably, because I imagine this in my head when you asked for assistance. It was like, like she see my mama together, sister together. You know what? We talking all of this wedding. Y'all ain't gonna be the only ones with the get right. I'ma get right too. So, be careful around the children. Their
I'm 5.
Listen,
their interpretation.
Because I'm 5.
5.5.
5.5. You better get it.
And so oddly enough, we had literally just like thrown out a bunch of stuff that was in our bathroom. Just like, I thought we had our bathroom redone, and so I'm thinking like, oh, let me just toss everything out. It's probably old. It's been in there a couple of years. So everybody was like, why you got no baby oil in your house? You got no baby. When you move, you're trying to like toss some things out and start fresh. And I don't know when we bought that baby oil. It probably is 5 years old, as old as Kennedy. So I was like, I'm not putting that stuff on my baby's face. I'm like, I don't know how old it is. I don't know.
All right, so now we all went out and got a fresh bottle of baby oil. So we go.
I did. Listen, the mamas got me all the way together, and oddly enough, it's funny. I literally had just thrown all that stuff out, thinking like, oh, let me, clean the bathroom, get everything straight, let me get everything organized. And as soon as I do, here Miss Girl goes putting some red marker all over
5.5.
Her rouge.
Respect.
Her rouge.
5.5. Respect. That's the entire statement.
Yes.
I love it.
So yeah, man, I love it too. So thank you so much, Nicole, for hanging out with us on tonight. And thank you for those of you who are with us on tonight. We are Unhinged Live. I'm sitting alongside my good girlfriend, Karen Sims, and Mrs. Nicole Carson of Second Story Wealth. Nicole, before you exit the table on tonight, can you tell our listeners again how they can get in contact with you? But before you do, y'all check it out. She a real person just like y'all. She's relatable. What she just shared, you probably done been through too. So while she's helping you get your wealth together, she can help give you some tips on how to get the markers off your baby's face. Nicole, how can our listeners get in contact?
I got all the tips. I'm here for it. I got kids of all ages at this point. I'm ready.
True.
Every spectrum. I got you. But again, thank you both for having me. It is so good just to reconnect with you, amazing ladies. I have been looking forward to this conversation for weeks now. Thank you to your audience for allowing me to come hang and chill with y'all and just drop a couple nuggets. Hopefully you'll invite me back, because there's so much more that we have to talk about. There's so much more that we can still talk about with our community in terms of not only financial services, but what that means specifically for Black women, as we show up very differently in our communities and our workspaces, and we're still only earning 60 cents on the dollar to everybody else. And that puts us in a different spot from a wealth perspective too. And so, if you want to get in contact me, I'm on secondstorywealth.com. I'm on all the socials at Second Story Wealth. And of course, you can contact me via phone at 215-714-7144. And happy to offer a free consultation for all of your audience members.
Give me that telephone number one more time, Nicole. We putting this right in the comment streets.
215-714-7144.
All right.
Now my baby's getting married on Sunday, so it's gonna ring till Thursday, and then Tuesday. Back on Tuesday.
Right back. But listen, y'all, them consultations need to be coming in, because after that baby get married, it's a whole nother ball game for everything in the world. So love it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again. It's good to see you both.
You as well. Appreciate you so much.
All right. Bye.
Night. Wasn't that amazing, Karen?
It was fun. Listen, I feel more financially fit, because you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make sure them bank accounts that we go and take care of that upon death. Y'all ain't getting my money.
Death. Y'all,
you're not coming for my money, okay?
Yeah, so and that's the easy way to protect yourself and protect your wealth. Simple. Come on, y'all. That's a simple way. So again, we're trying to help y'all stay lifetime fine here at the Unhinged Live, okay? Because we some queenagers. Some of y'all is queenagers and have teenagers in your home. we're trying to get this information out to the community to make sure you can continue to live your best blessed life. But check it out. We're getting ready to roll into a break, right, Karen? And
Yes, we are.
look, I want to go ahead and get the precursor. I see the church finger. Did you put your church finger up, sis?
I did not. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, cool. See, listen. This my friend right here. This Mr. Bliv Mash, right? With his latest release, gone over to his YouTube channel. Like, follow, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Do whatever you need to do. The name of this track is Team on Go. And check it out. It's going to be one of the new gospel bangers for the summer. I know it's a heater in my speakers in my car. Go ahead, DJ Karen.
Here we go.
Matthew 20:16, and Jesus said, so the last shall be first, and the first last. For many be called, but few chosen. Whole team on go. Whole team on team outside. Whole team on go. Whole team outside.
The devil been working on my patience. I'm trying to get away from the drama. He blew his bread on a big body. That boy should have stayed in a Honda. When you think you got it in the bag, that's when the Lord show you different. I had to focus on me. That's why I had to get some distance. And it don't matter what nobody think. The Lord, he my biggest critic. He didn't know how to light the booth up. You get in a room and it's crickets.
Want me to be a deacon? But who am I teaching? This day and age I see myself preaching, where everyone clutching and reaching. Only got minds for the defense. I see myself more as a disciple. To be evil, we war with the rivals. Right hand up when I pray on the Bible. Living in a world where it's style survival. I pray in the dark, I don't need me a title. I'm so fire, I need a deal with title. Y'all got false gods, who is my idol?
I got it, what you got? Contagious flow, call it chicken pox. Ashy ankles underneath my socks. Kevin Durant on the dots. Praise God, the man up top. Thanking him for everything I got. Set my feet on solid rock and keeps me fed like a bundle box. Keep on praising, will not stop. Fast and pray, need to detox. As the world decays and my body rots, I'm ducking and dodging and looting the odds with God.
Everyone talking about this warhead, but I'm in a real warfare. I'm talking about spiritual warfare. I'm fighting things I can't see, yeah. But I know someone that cares, and that person is my Lord, yeah. I stick by him because he won't lose. I know he loves me like he loves you.
Whole team on go. Whole team on
Whole
go.
team on go. Hey, whole team on go.
Whole team on go.
Team on go.
Whole team on go. Whole team on go. Whole team on go. Whole team on go.
Listen.
Whole team on go.
You don't
Whole
need to
team
say
on
a
go.
lot.
We
You don't need to say a
outside.
lot. You don't need to say a lot. You don't need, because you know why? That's our summer anthem. All y'all know. Whole team on go. We doing it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Whole team on
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Whole team on go. We outside. Oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, thank you again for another gospel banger, Bliv Mass. We really appreciate the work you continue to do, especially to encourage those in the hip hop community that are trying to keep the artistry pure. You're setting a great example of how you can do it and flip that thing for the Lord. To bring in a harvest for the kingdom. So Karen,
Yes.
It's so much we could talk about. And I'm looking at the time. Do you think we can behave ourselves on this evening?
No, we can't, but we gonna get in what we could get in, and then we'll tease it.
We gonna fit it. We
Listen.
gonna fit it. All right.
It's
All
gonna
right.
be
So look, we gonna point our remote controls real quick.
Okay. All right.
Point your remote control at your TV screen. Merrily, 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 merrily. Find something to stream. Yeah. All right, Karen, what you been into? We going merrily down the stream with these movie reviews, y'all. Go ahead.
Honestly, listen. So me and Boo didn't have like movie time. We usually go to the movies like, once every couple of weeks, and we ain't had no movie time. So we decided we was gonna take one day and watch all the doggone movies. I think that's what it was. Honey, by the end of the night, I was tired of him and he was tired of me. But that's not the point. The point is we saw some good movies, okay? We saw some good movies, and we started with Little Mermaid, and I've been inching this up because they did that thing with Little Mermaid. It was a lot of diversity there, a lot of different things, and people got different things to say, oh, it's not black on black love. I don't know what to tell you, like everybody out here in the world. But shout out to Halle because she really portrayed that part very well. I'm of a certain age that my children watch the original Little Mermaid more times than I want to say. The remake of this was well done. And so I thought, like, wow, this is really, really good. So shout out to her. Shout out to the entire cast. All of the things. So yeah, whatever else anybody streaming. So that's the movie. Then we went to go see Transformers. Okay. And so we saw the Transformers movie, and I had to admit that Optimus Prime is my boyfriend in my head. I just love it.
Still priming. Okay.
Listen. And so I had to tell the fiance, don't get upset when I be like, hey, boo, I don't really do that. But listen, it's Optimus. He was here before you. Alfred took it in stride. That's all I could say for that. Cause
okay.
I was like, don't start nothing.
Hey, Alfred.
Great movie. A lot of hip hop in that movie. I love the musical soundtrack. Our boy Toby was in it. Loved his character. And it just was a good representation of the movie. There were some moments in it that I was like, no, y'all didn't. No, what? I did not come here for this. So we giving you the quick snippets. I think that all these movies that we went to see were really great and worth it, but it depends on your viewing status. And then we went to go see Fast and the Furious, and here's my challenge. Fast and Furious, I need y'all to pick one story and end it. Okay? Whatever the darn story gonna be, I want to see an ending to that story. All right? I'm not going to no whole movie doing 2 hours and 12 to 25 minutes, and then it's a to be continued. Who? So I can't tell you how it ends because don't nobody know. So that's all I can say on that. And then we took a break, and then we went to go see The Flash. The Flash was good. I'm used to the TV series The Flash, and it was based on a little bit of that. But, my boo is a super Batman fan, and I promise you they had every Batman that has ever been a Batman in this movie about something that I don't even know if Batman was supposed to be in it. Anyway, it was a good movie. If you like The Flash, you like that type of stuff, you like Batman movies, all of that, it was good. Fast and the Furious, I don't know what to tell you. I don't need 3 parts of nothing in my life except for if it's Jesus died, Jesus said he died,
and he's coming back.
Them is the 3 things. If it ain't on that, I can't help. Whole team on go. Whole team on go.
On go.
I'm done. I can't help you with none of that. It's the 3 parts. And they set up the story so you know where they're gonna go. But it was good. That's all. Probably out of all of those movies, my favorite was probably Transformers. That was an argument this weekend because Joshua didn't think that it was worthy of that number one. Out of all the Transformer movies, I would say I would put this in probably like 2 or 3. Argue with somebody else, don't argue with me. I just love the way that they put the story together, that there was a lot of diversity in the movie, and they really represented New York in a just really interesting way that I resonated with. So, I'm one of those who like, where you from? And that's how they repped it. They was like, I'm from, and we bringing it, and they called it. Stuff got blowed up, all of that. So I was here for it.
Okay. All right.
Now I know you were merrily down the stream because you were sending recommendations just random times. So tell me a little bit.
Girl, I was in here. Listen, I'm dabbling right now. Okay. But there's one thing that had me hook, line, and sinker early in the morning because we like to be up at the crack of dawn, going merrily down the stream, so we can bring this conversation to y'all. So I have been waiting with bated breath for I'm a Virgo to premiere on Prime Video. And hey, all you elite Christians out there, don't come for me when I acknowledge the fact that I am a Virgo, okay? Certain ones of us who were born in August and September rep the Virgo, and we rep it well. Baby, I want to give a whole shout out to Boots Riley for this wonderful production. The main character is a 13-foot tall Black man who was raised in isolation by his parents because they had some wisdom, some information from times past of what society would tend to do to someone of his size. And then add to that the fact that he's a Black man. They knew that that was a recipe for trouble in their son's life. So Cootie is 19 years old. That's the main character's name. Cootie is 19 years old, and he leaves the home for the first time. And he goes out there in these streets. And if you're in the group, you saw episode 1 had me cackling because he has his first experience at the car hangout. What did they call it? Cruise night? Baby, listen. I was like, yes, Cootie, you better live, you adventurous Virgo. Live your life. So live your life. There was also a piece in the series where he actually was dying to have this one particular hamburger he saw television commercials about often. So he finally got the hamburger, and he was all souped and excited, and he started chewing on the burger. Next thing you know, he was spitting it out. So don't spoil. Look, you need to watch it. I can't spoil what you have, I can't tell you all of it. But what I will tell you is my favorite character out of it all is Jones. I'm not going to spoil that. I need you to go on to the Prime Video channels. If you have someone that doesn't have Prime and you do, hey, perhaps create a watch night where you can watch together. Do a watch night, and so you can have this commentary. And listen, I'm going to spoil this part for you, Ayana. I'm sorry, boo. The last line of the series was epic because I was sitting there thinking it before he said it and the show shut down. They were like, how did you know that was going to work? Because I'm a Virgo.
Oh,
hey.
Lord.
We be knowing stuff.
Somebody
right?
come over here and get her because they got a whole movie now. We ain't going to be able to not listen to that.
Y'all finna be sick of me. Because I'm a Virgo. That's how I knew it was going to work. Didn't it work, though? That's right, Natural G.
Goodness.
That part. So, yeah, right now, I actually just started Average Joe, starring one of our favorite comedians, Dion Cole. All right. It was very, very, it's interesting. And it's not what you're going to be expecting from Dion Cole, y'all. And that's actually streaming right now on BET Plus. I'll probably finish that up tonight because there's only 2 episodes posted. So I should be able to stay awake long enough to get through that. So we're going to move right along. Listen, we finna go petty because I feel petty in my spirit. I'm ready for war. I got my camouflage on. You got your Juneteenth t-shirt and your flower coordinating with the letters. So we finna go down the petty pew because life has been wilding and lifing as life does. Woo! Oh, Lord have mercy. Where do we start? Let's go with these sinking submarines.
Lord.
Can we go with these sinking submarines?
We can do the sinking submarines, the sinking subs.
All right. Of course, we're not making fun of death.
We are not. And our prayers go out to the families. However, in all things, there's a moment of discussion so that we might get some clarity on the thinking process, because this wasn't just
they wasn't thinking.
Something happened. Because okay, listen, I'm gonna say it this way, sis. While we talk about the sinking submarines, I have not yet elevated to that point where if it's more than $50, I'm just like, okay, let's do it. Because in my mind, if it's more than $50, so let's talk about this, okay? Kirk and them in the
Yes,
reunion, Kirk and the reunion,
girl,
they
preach,
coming through, right? So they coming through.
right?
And I was good when it was like, oh, babe, the tickets is like $58. Well, wait a minute, where we sitting? Okay. Like, I got questions. And then it was like, well,
We got questions.
I think we need better seats. Well, the better seats is $78. Okay, let me think, because you know I could get to Jesus for free. Let me think about that. Okay, and we have a conversation. Now, mind you, then we talk about, well, what do we want to be on the top or on the floor? This for $100 for $250,000.
Girl.
The questions that I have are immeasurable.
Plentiful.
Nicole, love you. We talk about the sinking submarine. 250.
I could have took that 250 to Nicole Carson and got my entire life right for myself currently and for future generations.
I would have bought the block. I would have bought the block. I'm telling you, that is exactly what I need to buy the block. Don't worry about it. Okay, it's just an investment. But that would be what I need to buy the block. So when I tell you the questions, when it's over $60, I'll be like, oh, okay. Well, then we eating in, right? We're not.
Yeah, we're gonna cook tonight. We're gonna cook
now
tonight.
Listen, we ain't broke. That ain't it. But we not wasteful with the resources that we have. I just got questions because in my mind, for $100, I gotta be like, wait, who gonna be there again? Remind me. Okay, it's Kirk and Clark. Who else on this tour? Oh, Tamala. Right. We done seen Tamala and David a couple of times.
Do I get a free t-shirt for this money? Do I get a free something? Do I get a swag bag?
Something? You know they're gonna have them people crunched in there, and I'm not really the one for all of that. So I'm like, we having different conversations. So that's my whole thing, Tilted. Is for $250,000. What were the questions that I'm saying we, because if it was me, right, that we should have been asking. So Natural D got one question. This is an important question. This is an important question. Because if we knew who all was over there, we wouldn't have got in the sinking submarine. I'm just saying. This is a serious thing. Y'all know we as people of color, we serious about that. We say who all over there. You know why? Because we discern the energy. I know that sound like, people are like, ooh, energy. Don't say that. Now we discern the energy, we discern the vibes, we discern the spirits. Because sometimes it don't turn into a whole spirit. Sometimes it is just a vibe, and then you get into it and be like, oh, okay.
Like, oh, okay, she cool.
And you can recognize the good versus the.
I'll eat that potato salad. You know,
come over here with that. I'm just saying. So questions. That's all I got to say. I don't think the right questions were asked. No, I am not that person who gonna go with you. So the story was that one of the folks that met their demise was the son, because his father decided that this was what he wanted to do. So you know how this gonna go at my house. All right, well, you go through that. I'm gonna be over here making some potato salad. You know what? I'm a grill, and Dad, when you get done, you gonna come over here and you gonna eat the best steak of your life. I'm not co-signing with nobody else's. If it seemed crazy to me, listen, that there was a waiver, Natural D.
Yeah, they signed a waiver, from what I understand, so that they were aware before they got on that submarine that there was a possibility of death. And while we checking who all over there, I know me. We used to ride around in hooties in the hood back in the day. And even before we got our money right to get a nicer car for ourselves, the moment I got on board and found out that they were steering this submarine with a PlayStation controller, peace out. I'm out. It just doesn't make any sense to me when you just get on and board something and what you know, because you just signed a stack of papers this thick, and you know. So again, we extend our condolences
All of the
to the
families, all of the
families
loved ones.
that suffered loss. That young man in particular, whose life had barely just begun. He just got on the boat to please his father, to make his father smile, and now, unfortunately, they are on the other side, where we have yet to be. So y'all be wise in your summertime excursions. Okay,
Thank
be
you.
wise.
That's the lesson.
Be
Because
wise.
I'm always looking for the lesson, Tilted. Be wise
Me
in your
too.
summertime excursions.
Be wise, because check it out. I'm a beachhead. Y'all already know. I be at the beach any given opportunity. I can get to the water. I'm gonna run to the water. I have such an awesome respect for the big river. If you
That
ever
part.
just stand there and watch, and if you just listen to the power in the waves, you've got to understand the respect that that water commands. Um, I back in the day used to get out there and float. I swim like a dolphin. I love the waves. I like to body surf, but wisdom spoke after a certain age, and I started to see that there was more and more shark reports, more shark sightings on some of my favorite beaches. So now I'm a queenager, knowing what I'm responsible for. I just go and I sit on the edge, unless I'm someplace where I can see through the water. I'm gonna sit on the edge. It might be, but the water's still gonna wash up on me, and I'm not gonna get sucked out of the water by the undertow, or rip current, as some like to call it. All right. So respect the water, y'all, because we might be 80% water, but baby, we are no match for the majestic seas. All right.
Yeah.
So we are no match. Be wise in your summertime excursions. All right. And one more quick touch on this story. You got a Tesla on your list of things to purchase, Karen?
Listen, not me, but our boy Rashim just purchased a Tesla.
Well, Rashim, I hope you tune in and you listen. Listen, the headline that I came across today, and this was recent, okay, was this little young man. The Tesla was on autopilot, okay, and this young man actually crashed into the back of a truck. All right, and he's now facing some charges of reckless driving. Somehow or another, the Tesla was not able to detect the truck in front of him was not moving. It was actually in a lane as a placeholder for some construction that was going on in the area, and the Tesla runs right into it. Now, this is just one report of Teslas being on auto drive that's done ran up into something. So, if y'all not familiar with the Tesla, don't do it. Make sure you maintain your own control behind the wheel, because I know when I went through driver's ed and I still drive with this wisdom, I am driving a deadly weapon every single time I'm out there riding on them four wheels. I am driving a deadly weapon, and I don't trust Tesla. It ain't Jetson like enough for me just yet. Karen, you got anything to add to this story?
Like enough. Okay, I got that. So I will say, I know our boy Rashid's out there being safe, and it's interesting because I know that his view on, what how the car, what he's using it for, and how he gonna drive it is gonna be different. It's one thing, because even I'll say, when we get our dream cars, it's like, oh, interesting. And then then you be like, all right, what's next? Because it's so many different lessons to learn with that. It's like you have the excitement, it stays there, but then it is still a never-ending, insatiable thing of, all right, now what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? Y'all be safe out here, because Tesla's not the only one with the autopilot. But the news does wear off. It does. Or you just get excited because it's like, wow, I wanted this thing, or everybody's been talking about this thing, and then you get it and you may not be sure what the hype is all about. So that's
really. And one last tip of wisdom, especially when it comes to purchasing new vehicles, y'all. I know I've always operated when they release a new something in the line. Say for instance, Chevy released Toyota released the Avalon years ago, right?
Right.
I
Mhm.
never purchased a vehicle within the first 3 years of
Yeah.
the model. I want to make sure that Toyota or whoever else the maker is has enough time to address all the recalls that come out when they release a line. Has that been your experience when you purchasing a car in the past,
I'm on
Karen?
one. I
With
have purchased one new car in my lifetime. And my entire answer was, "You won't get me again." Okay.
okay, okay,
You're
exactly.
not.
So yeah, I like a car a little slightly broken in. I do have a plan in place. Yeah, because by the time I get to it, they have addressed all of the
Yes.
recalls.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm real funny like that because y'all know I stay on these roads out here in these tilted halo streets. All
Mhm.
right. So thank you all for tuning in to tonight's show.
Yes.
We are Unhinged Live. I'm Tilted Halo, sitting alongside my good girlfriend Karen Sims of Twisted Threads. And we are getting ready to receive another reflection of purpose from our very own in-house master life coach, Miss Karen Sims, the girl with the flower in her hair of Twisted Threads LLC. I'm ready. I got my notebook out tonight, Karen. I want these lessons. I want these nuggets. Take it away, sis.
We gonna get into it real quick. You all know we get a title and we get on into it. Now listen, this is one that we talked about under any other name, but we want to remind you, shine a light on them. Shine a light on them. You know,
Hey!
we hear that, and
Oh,
it's
I'm
like,
sorry.
shine a
Hey!
light on them. Listen, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's more than a clapping. You know, I gotta get us right tilted because it's more than the clapping.
Yes.
It's more than a club banger. It's more than that motivation that you get in the middle of your shana nada. It's like, we're gonna shine a light on them. Here's the reason why it's important. Come on now. Here's the reason why it is important. So many people are living through and in challenges. And when we take the moment to shine a light on what we know is goodness in the other people, you know what you do? You literally are treated as solar power in their spirit. You get to lift them up from a place of despair when you shine a light on them. You get to remind them of the greatness that maybe they don't see in their mirror because ain't no light. It's too dark in the mirrors that they're looking at. But when you shine a light on them, you remind them that there's goodness in them. But you know what you also do? You remind them that there's goodness in you. See, the thing is, when you're shining the light on somebody else, a lot of times people forget the reflection that comes right behind that light illuminates who you are when you are taking the time to shine a light on somebody else. So listen, we always want to be here for the celebration. We always want to give you a word of encouragement. But in this season, it is important that as we are thinking about what our summertime excursions are going to be, that we take these moments of sunshine, not only just to get the vitamin D for our skin, but to give that vitamin D / delight when we go out into the world, and make sure that we're shining a light on them. Why? So that they can go a little bit further, so that they can do a little bit more, so that they can climb a little bit higher, and that they don't forget what? To invite us for the cake. You know, we are here sharing winning strategies with you all because it is important for us not just to see you win, but to see what your whole team on go. Come on. Shout out Blinn for giving us the outro today. If your whole team is on go, you get to shine a light on them and watch the greatness that people will become as you take the spotlight off of you for a moment, shine it on them, and watch how much further you go. That's our reflection of purpose today.
Look, that's our reflection of purpose on tonight. Thank you so much, Karen. I'm about to be shining. I'm about to blind these people out here. I'm about to be so bright and blingy. All right. So look, usually I end this show with a just be word. So tonight we're gonna do a little different. Karen, we gonna go out on the outro tonight because didn't Bliff just bless your heart with that?
Listen,
The lyrics,
whole team,
yeah, whole team on go. Look, just be mindful when you on go this summer. Be the light you were predestined to be. Share the laughter, share the conversation, share in the joy, because that's what you were created to do. We're preparing to go on a sabbatical here at the Unhinged live show, but baby, we ain't gonna be gone but for so long. And keep an eye out for us. We out here being lifetime fine, and we out here running these streets. You never know where one of us might pop up. All right. So, DJ Karen, I think that's a show, and we're going out with Bliv Mash. You want to hit that play button, baby?
Listen, wait.
Whole team on go.
You not got to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm ready.
Listen, we be doing
ready.
Things over here. Here we go.
It's all good. Bye, y'all. We love you.
We love you.
Whole team on go. Hey, we outside. Oh, whole team on go. Yeah, I'm about to improv. Yep. Hey.
First class. For many be called, but few chosen.
I got 2 minutes.
Whole team on go. Whole team on go. Whole team outside.
You know, the double working on my patience. I'm trying to get away from the drama. He blew his bread on a big body. That boy should have stayed in a Honda. When you think you got it in the bag, that's when the Lord show you different. I had to focus on me. That's why I had to get some distance. And it don't matter what nobody think. The Lord, he my biggest critic. They didn't know how to light the booth up. You get in a room and it's crickets.
Want me to be a deacon? But who am I teaching? This day and age I see myself preaching, where everyone clutching and reaching. Only got minds for the defense. I see myself more as a disciple. So for evil, we war with the rivals. Right hand up when I pray on the Bible. Living in a world where it's dire survival. I pray in the dark, I don't need me a title. I'm so fire, I need to deal with title. Y'all got false gods, Lord is my idol.
I got it, what you got? Contagious flow, call it chicken pox. Ashy ankles underneath my socks. Kevin Durant, unorthodox dots. Praise God, man up top. Thanking him for everything I got. Set my feet on solid rock and keep me fed like a bundle box. Keep on praising, will not stop. Fast and pray, need to detox. As the world decays and my body rots, I'm ducking and dodging and looting the odds with God.
Everyone talking about this warhead, but I'm in a real warfare. I'm talking about spiritual warfare. I'm fighting things I can't see, yeah. But I know someone that cares, and that person is my Lord, yeah. I stick by him cause he won't lose. I know he loves me like he loves you.
Whole team on go. 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 Whole team on go.
Night, y'all. We out.